Hi, welcome to this mini webinar on the racing rules. I'm Dave Dellenbaugh, and today we're going to talk about Rule 10, which is titled On Opposite Tacks. It's a rule we know as port starboard. Rule 10 is the shortest rule in the rulebook. It says simply, when boats are on opposite tacks, a port tack boat shall keep clear of a starboard tack boat. Let's take a look at a video here. Rule 10 says that when two boats are coming together and they're on opposite tacks, the boat on port tack must keep clear of the starboard tack boat. Keeping clear means that the port tack boat allows the starboard tacker to sail her course with no need to take avoiding action. And you could see that in this case, the boat on starboard tack was able to sail her course straight ahead, and she had no need to take avoiding action, right? She sailed her course straight ahead. Therefore, the port tack boat kept clear of the starboard tack boat. And that's what Rule 10 is all about. I like racing under Rule 10, and I like talking about Rule 10 because it's simple and clear, right? How easy is it that one boat just has to keep clear of the other based on what tack they're on? Rule 10 is also very consistent. It's been this way since the beginning of time almost, that port keeps clear of starboard. It's also a very dependable rule. What do you think are the chances that the next rule book is going to come out and it's going to say port tack has the right of way? Well, there's no chance that that's going to happen. Port starboard is like motherhood and apple pie. It doesn't change. It's very comfortable. But did you know that there are actually times on the race course when the starboard tack boat has to keep clear of a port tack boat? Yeah, I'm serious. Let's take a closer look at that. So I want to start by giving a little bit of an overview of the rules here. The rules we're talking about are the right-of-way rules, and they are in part 2 of the rule book, which is called When Boats Meet. And When Boats Meet is divided into 4 sections, A, B, C, and D. And the first one is called right-of-way because it has the 4 basic right-of-way rules in it, including Rule 10 on opposite tacks, port starboard. That's in Section A. Section B has some limitations on the right-of-way rules. Section C talks about the complicated rules at marks and obstructions. And Section D, sort of a lesser known section of Part 2, talks about other rules. And these are the rules that we're going to talk about today. And in Section D, there are 4 rules, 21 through 24. The one that we're going to talk about is Rule 22, which is actually 3 rules combined into 1 rule, right? And Rule 22 contains those exceptions that are going to apply in some cases where a starboard boat has to keep clear of a port tack boat. Note that the preamble to Section D says, when Rule 22 applies between 2 boats, Section A rules do not. So when we talk about Rule 22, starting errors, taking penalties, backing a sail, when one of those rules applies between 2 boats, Rule 10, port starboard, does not apply. Okay? Let's take a look at the first time when a boat on starboard tack might have to keep clear of a boat on port tack. The first one is when the starboard boat is returning to the starting line to start. Okay, and that rule reads 22.1. A boat sailing toward the pre-start side of the starting line or one of its extensions after her starting signal to start or to comply with Rule 30.1, which is the I flag penalty, shall keep clear of a boat not doing so until she is completely on the pre-start side. So here's how that works. At the moment of the starting signal, here it is, the red boat S is over the line early. Committee puts up the X flag, hey, you're over S. S knows that she has to turn back and go to the pre-start side of the line before she can recross it and start the race properly. But S, of course, is in the middle of a bunch of boats that have the right of way. She can't turn around right away. And so she keeps going and she luffs her sail and she slows down her course and she's trying to make it a clear spot so she can go back to the line and restart. While S is continuing in the race like this, she maintains all her rights because she's not yet sailing toward the pre-start side of the starting line. It's only when S turns and is sailing back toward the pre-start side of the line that Rule 22.1 applies and says at this point, S shall keep clear of any boat that's not sailing back toward the starting line until S is completely on the pre-start side. So in this case, S, even though she's on starboard tack, has to keep clear of P, even though P is on port tack. Okay, good. Here's the second time when a starboard tacker might have to keep clear of a boat on port tack. That is when S is taking a penalty turn, right? This could be either a 2 turns penalty when S broke a right-of-way rule, or a 1 turn penalty when S touched a mark and she's doing 1 turn to exonerate herself for hitting the mark. Okay, and the rule says simply this, 22.2, a boat taking a penalty shall keep clear of one that is not, right? Any boat, when she's taking a penalty, she has to keep clear of a boat that's not taking a penalty. Let's look at a video. We're going to look at this video where there's actually 2 boats taking the penalties at the same time. And here we go. The 2 boats in the foreground both broke a rule. They're taking 2 turns penalty. The white boat has completed both her turns. She's going to keep going in the race. The other boat is doing a second penalty turn. It's a slow one, but it's another penalty turn. And both of those boats, while they were in the process of taking their penalty turn, were required by Rule 22.2 to keep clear of other boats, even a port tacker if they happen to be on starboard tack, right? So what does it mean actually to be taking a penalty? Well, a boat's taking a penalty when she is complying with Rule 44.2, which describes to you how you need to take a penalty. And that rule says, after getting well clear of other boats, as soon after the incident as possible, a boat takes a 1 turn or 2 turns penalty by promptly making the required number of turns in the same direction, each turn including 1 tack and 1 jog. So you don't begin to take a penalty until you have gotten well clear of other boats as soon after the incident as possible. Once you're well clear, then you begin taking your penalty by going into the 1 turn or 2 turn penalty and doing a tack and a jibe for each turn that you're required to take. Here's again how it works. Let's say a port tacker misjudges her cross and the starboard tacker cannot sail her course and needs to take avoiding action. The port tacker realizes she broke a rule. She does the correct thing, which is to say, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I'll spin here. So then the first thing she has to do is to get clear of other boats, right? X sails to get clear of other boats. And when she thinks she's clear of other boats, she starts doing her penalty turns. Here, S has done the first jibe of her first turn. She's on starboard tack, and there's a port tack boat coming upwind at her. Because X is in the middle of a penalty turn, she must keep clear of all other boats that are not doing penalty turns, even though at this particular moment, X is on starboard tack and P is on port tack. Okay, the third time when a starboard tack boat might have to keep clear of a boat on port tack is when the starboard tack boat is moving backward by backing a sail. Okay, the rule says, 22.2, the third part of Rule 22, a boat moving astern or sideways to windward through the water by backing a sail shall keep clear of one that is not, right? Here is, let's go to the video here. We've got a bunch of Melgus 24s at a starting line, and they're all crowding to the boat end, which is clearly way favored in their minds, and you get a typical traffic jam here at the boat end, and we're going to see these boats on the video. They're all crowded in there, and they get right up to the committee boat, and then there is no place to go. And one of these boats, the one that's right in the middle there by the committee boat, starts to back her sail. It's a little hard to see. If you're looking at this on a phone, I apologize, but there was a boat there that actually couldn't go forward anymore. They pushed out their mainsail and they started backing their sail so they could back out of there. And that's what they did. There they are right there. They've got the boom all the way out on the port side. They're backing up, beep, 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 to get out of there because there was a dead end. They were headed right at the committee boat. When they're backing up, they are required to keep clear of any boat that is not also backing up by backing a sail. What tack is this red boat on right here? Well, they're on starboard tack because they have headed up almost head to wind. They didn't go past head to wind. And now they're backing their sail, but the wind is still coming over the starboard side. They're still on starboard tack. However, once they start moving through the water backwards, as a result of having backed the sail, they're now subject to Rule 22.3, and they must keep clear of all other boats, even boats that are on port tack when they're on starboard tack. So there you have it. 3 times when a boat on starboard tack might actually have to keep clear of a boat on port tack. Rule 10 is simple, but there are a lot of subtle things we need to know about it when we're sailing around the coast. We'll look at more of those in the next webinar. Thanks, and I'll see you later.